Welcome to Behind the Beat. I'm your host, Reckless Escapades. Today we'll be breaking down Sedar by Maruxa Lynd.
Sedar, 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 wait. Sudah, wait. Tak nak dengar, boleh belah, dah sudah, wait. Sedar, wait.
Okay, so I started Sedar in Logic Pro, and I started it out with a kick pattern. So here it is. Yeah, so kick and clap. Tempo is 130 BPM, pretty standard trap beat tempo. After that was the hats added. After the basic drums was done, I added the 808. And so once these four sounds have been done, it's basically like 70% of the song is already done basically. So everything on top of this is just extra things to make the song more interesting. So after this I added a zap type sound. Yep. And then I did the melody. It's an eerie type of melody. Kind of sounds a bit like horror movies type. Yeah, so that horror movie vibe. And I used Omnisphere for this. And it's the Organ Bell Signs patch. Yeah. So the last element that I did in Logic was there's this blip basically, because in the verse section there's none of that organ signs bell sound. So there's that blip that's there. And so that's that. Basically, there's 7 sounds here in Logic, and once I was ready with that, I exported the sounds, the audio, and then I brought that into Pro Tools where I further arranged the tracks, and then I made it into a full. Because if you see here, there's only 8 bars. There's only 8 bars here, so I expanded that in Pro Tools, and then I added some like transition stuff in Pro Tools, like some risers and things like that. Okay, so let's go on to Pro Tools right now. Alright, so after I had done exporting the audio from Logic Pro, I brought it into Pro Tools, where I would just kind of arrange the track into a full, like hook, verse type deal. And then I would also do a lot of mixing here in Pro Tools, where like you see this kick here. I added some EQing. Like I boosted 4 dB at 100 Hertz. I boosted 2 dB at 1.5 kilohertz. That gives some low end and some mid range to the kick. And I did some stuff to the 808s. There's 3 plugins on there, and I'm not gonna show the settings on that. Yeah. So this is the clap. I did some EQing too. Boosted it a little bit at 300 Hertz and about like the mid range as well, 1300 Hertz, 4000 Hertz. Boost only like 3 dBs, 4 dBs. 6K, so that will affect all the frequencies after that. So that boosts all the high frequencies basically. And I did a cut for the hi-hat. I did a cut so that everything below 180 hertz is like filtered. It's filtered basically. And then yeah, even on the zaps, I did some EQing on that, and then I added an open hi-hat here. Yep, so that open hi-hat, just gives like it just gives that extra oomph, a bit of that high top end sound to complement the closed hi-hat. And then there's a crash cymbal here at the start of the bar. Yeah, what I do with my crash, instead of it just being like normal, I would put a tremolator on it. Shout out to Sound Toys. It's so basically you can hear the difference. Yeah, okay, I'll solo just the crash. So that's got that tremolator effect instead of just. That's how it sounds without the tremolator. So it just gives a bit of a vibe. It follows the rhythm of the track. And then on top of those two, there's the blip. Some EQing there. And then that's the melody. Some compression on the melody, some EQ on the melody. And you will see this on a lot of my tracks, the decapitator. It's my secret weapon, if you will. And on top of those two, the last two things that I added was the riser. That's the, famous trap sound risers. And also a reverse cymbal. So those two sounds you will hear when it transitions from like the hook to the verse section. So the sections flow nicely. Yep, so basically when all these tracks are combined on the mix bus, I have a compressor here, the API 2500. And it's just basically to kind of glue the whole track together. So it just sounds... You can see there's some gain reduction there. But pretty light. The threshold is set pretty far back, so it's only compressing very little, and the attack time is pretty slow. The ratio is set at 3, relatively quick release time, so just kind of glues the thing without chopping off the transients too much. So it's still punchy, and basically that's the whole. Yeah, if you see there's a little drop, that drop you let the vocals rock at that point, and then the beat comes back in. It just gives a lot more. It's just like whoa, just creates that that effect that you want when you want to like emphasize certain words and things like that. And so that's that. You've seen the way I make beats. You've seen the kinds of the kinds of processing that I do, the kinds of mixing that I do for the tracks, and how I get it to sound good. And thank you for joining me in my process. And you can hear the full final outcome after this.
Tak sama royan, tak sama bebel, tak sama ngata, Wanita lain, lu panggil betina, borak jantina, Minta duit mama, minum Ribena, lepak arena, Perangai Camina, Aceh Latina, otak lu mana, Sedar, 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 weh, sudah, sudah.